Okay, so to continue our coverage over the Dawn of X era of X-Men comics, we actually pick up with Excalibur number 10. Now, with this book right here, it does open up in a very weird way. And what I mean is, right now, Great Britain is on fire. The entire country is burning down. On top of that, Great Britain has declared war against COPPA because apparently some random missiles that seem to be came from COPPA had hit Great Britain. And so, of course, to the Queen and the rest of the government of Great Britain, they believe that COPPA has declared war against Great Britain. And so now we have some war going on between two different nations. But the reason why I say the way the book opens up is weird because the last time we saw the Excalibur team back in Excalibur number 9, they were still in Otherworld. They were still fighting against Saturnine. And the big question is, why in the world are they here right now dealing with this kind of problem? What happened in Otherworld? Now, we do pick up with Betsy Braddock, aka Captain Britain. And remember, she is responsible to protect Great Britain. But now with Great Britain declaring war against all mutants across the world, especially COPPA, right now, anytime a military force sees her, they want to kill her on sight because she is a mutant. If you are a mutant in their country, they are going to kill you on sight. Now, you do have the rest of Excalibur team appear, and they want to know what in the world is going on. But of course, they have no idea, and so does Betsy. She has no idea either. No one knows what in the world is going on. Now, you do have Excalibur as Betsy Braddock if she's able to actually go into Otherworld. And of course, you have Betsy say, no, for some reason, I have lost access to Otherworld. That right there should not happen at all. Because when it comes to Captain Britain, they have access to Otherworld. But right now, Betsy Braddock no longer has access to Otherworld. Now, you do have Gambit try to think of different ways for this team to escape. But right now, you have Betsy Braddock say, the country has declared war against us. COPPA. Right now, they're watching every single possible way to leave this country or to get into this country. Meaning that if they see us, they are going to blow us up on sight. But that is the moment you have Kitty Pryde appear on a flying boat. Now, Kitty Pryde being here is actually for a good reason. Now, the reason why I say it's kind of cool to see Kitty Pryde here is because remember, back in the old days of Marvel Comics, Kitty Pryde was one of the original team members to make up the Excalibur team. So when the team first came together ever in Marvel Comics, Kitty Pryde was one of the first members. Now, of course, it's kind of cool to see her right now helping out a new version of her old team. Now, of course, the big question is, how in the world is this ship flying through the air right now like it should be normal? Well, that is the moment you have Kitty Pryde tell us and Betsy Braddock, thanks to Rachel Summers, using her psychic powers as a way to make the ship fly through the air. Now, of course, Rachel Summers was another member of Excalibur, but she came later on. But again, it's kind of cool that Marvel is reminding us that Kitty Pryde and Rachel Summers used to be part of the Excalibur team. Now here comes a sad moment though, because then you have Kitty Pryde tell Betsy Braddock that Petey Wisdom has died. Now of course, this is confusing because in our last video, he was alive. He was alive and well. And matter of fact, he was hanging out with Brian Braddock's wife to hopefully find out what in the world is going on with the Coven of COPPA, the bad group that is trying to take down Excalibur. But of course, between that book and this book, he has somehow died fighting for his country. Now again, all of this should tell you that something is wrong with this book right now. Something is wrong with this world because none of this should have happened because in our last video, again, Excalibur was fighting against Saturnine. Now, you do have Bessie Braddock tell Kitty Pryde and also Rachel Summers to take her over to the lighthouse. Now, the reason why, because the lighthouse is not just important for Bessie Braddock and her family, but also the Excalibur team. But this is Bessie Braddock hoping to learn or find some answers on what in the world is going on right now and give us, the readers, some answers as well. But that is the moment we jump over to Jamie Braddock. Now remember, Jamie is the more powerful sibling. He's able to warp reality. On top of that, he was crowned king of Otherworld and Camelot. And so right now he's in charge of Otherworld. But you then have Jamie Braddock tell us that he is watching his sister and her team travel to the lighthouse. And the reason why he's watching them is because everything we saw in this book alone, in this video alone, is a reality that he has made. Because again, he's able to warp reality. And so he made another reality where all of that is happening right now in that reality. Now, the big question is, why in the world would he do that? Well, you have Jamie explain about a group called the Captain Britain Corps. Now, the Captain Britain Corps was a group made back in the early days of Marvel Comics. What happened was you would have a Great Britain from each universe coming together to work under Saturn. Now, this group was very popular, but when it came to Jonathan Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers, that group was wiped out completely. But then you have Jamie ask Morgan Le Fay, who was the bad guy in our earlier videos of this series, he does ask her, why hasn't Saturn made a new Captain Britain Corps? The old one was wiped out. But of course, the multiverse is still there, meaning that you still have the ability to go ahead out there and recruit more Captain Britons to make a new Captain Britain Corps. But of course, she hasn't done that yet. And so this is Jamie Braddock saying, I am going to make a bunch more of realities out there, and each reality is gonna have a Captain Britain. And so with that, we'll have so many Captain Britons across the multiverse thanks to all my different realities that Saturn has no choice but to go ahead and recreate the Captain Britain Corps. But getting back over to our Excalibur team, right now we do see them arrive at the lighthouse, but as soon as they arrive, they do get attacked by more missiles that were made to look like they came from COPPA, which of course we know they did not. But either way, it's kind of like, what in the world is going on? It seems like COPPA, or whoever is trying to frame COPPA, is going to send a bunch more missiles until Great Britain is literally a dead country. But that is the moment you have Bessie Braddock realize what's happening right now. What in the world is going on? She now knows that right now she's being played by her brother, Jamie Braddock. And as soon as she announces that, that is the moment you have Jubilee get stabbed right through her arm by Jamie Braddock, who's riding a freaking unicorn. Now, you do have Bessie Braddock express how she feels to her brother, how upset she is with her brother, because she knows that what her brother has done is horrible, is wrong. But that is the moment you have Jamie tell Bessie Braddock, listen, you're technically not real. You're a reality that I made. You're not the real Bessie Braddock. I have her still. She's still in Otherworld. This reality was made by me. I am basically your God, your creator. Now, of course, Bessie Braddock is not happy about this at all. And so what she does next is she does use her psychic powers on her brother. And then she asks Rogue to use her powers on Jamie Braddock to hopefully take his powers away from him so that she'll be able to kind of have this reality go away peacefully, but to also make sure that her brother cannot do more harm to the multiverse. But that is the moment you have Jamie say, oh, I still have more plans, and my next plan is going to be a big one. And that is the moment you have Bessie Braddock get hit with a missile. and she is down for the count. And really, Betsy Braddock is dead. Now, with her death, that is very huge because now there is no Captain Britain. And when it comes to Great Britain, there is always somebody who is Captain Britain in Great Britain, which means right now somebody must step up and become the next Captain Britain. But that is the moment it leads into James Braddock's next plan, or next part of his plan, because with the reality he has made and with him killing off Betsy Braddock, that means somebody must pick up the Amulet of Right. And usually when someone picks that up, they become the Captain Britain of Great Britain. But right when you have somebody try to reach for that Amulet of Right, you have James Braddock use his powers to take his reality and make 4 more realities, 4 different ones, where you have each member of the Excalibur team grabbing the Amulet of Right to become the next Captain Britain. And so in one reality, you have Gambit becoming Captain Britain. In another reality, you have Rogue becoming Captain Britain, Jubilee in another reality, Richter in another reality, to make 4 more Captain Britons. Because again, it's James Braddock trying to remake the Captain Britain Corp any way he can, using his powers to hopefully bring that group back. But then we finally go back to Otherworld, where we pick up with Saturnine. And when Saturnine finds out what James Braddock has done, making these fake Captain Britons from fake realities that were made by him, she's very upset. She hates this. And also, Saturnine was worried about this because she knew sooner or later when mutants do return to Otherworld, they usually cause a problem. And with James Braddock being the king of Otherworld and him being a mutant, of course, he has made a lot of problems, not just for Saturnine, but possibly for the multiverse as well. And so now it's Saturnine saying, we need to go to war against James Braddock and these fake Captain Britons from fake realities. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.